Hey guys, this is Alam again, and hope you're having a good time. And today I'm creating this tutorial to demonstrate how to integrate Jenkins with Bitbucket without having a static IP. So you can use your home network to do that. So we all know that Jenkins is a very popular continuous integration and continuous delivery platform, open source, it can scale, and a lot of other interesting stuff. So this tutorial is basically limited to the basic installation of the Jenkins, creation of a CI job, and integrating with Bitbucket so that on each commit you will have a CI job running. So let's start. So like I said, I will just go through what we will be doing throughout this session or the video tutorial. If you're looking for something else, you can go and find some other tutorials. I will be creating a couple of more online videos with Docker on Jenkins, persisting, and other some different stuff, but this is limited to this part, this described part only. So we will be doing a basic installation of Jenkins. We will install a Bitbucket plugin on the Jenkins, then you are gonna create a CI job. Then we will use the gradle clean build uh, command into the CI job, since I'm using a Spring Boot application to run the CI job, to be ran into the CI job. So I will be using the Bitbucket, and I will create a profile. If you don't have it, please create a profile. And then after that, we will be using webhook to notify Jenkins from the Bitbucket end that something is pushed. And then after that, we will have our Jenkins running, we will have our code setup, and we will have our CI job setup. We are going to do the set up the modem to understand or receive the webhook connection from the Bitbucket, and this is gonna trigger the CI job on each commit. So let's get started. So first of all, you have to go to the jenkins.io and the download section. And what I will say to, if you are gonna doing a basic demonstration, so you can download the WAR file. You can click here, download it. So just to save time, I already downloaded that WAR file here, .war. Just to notice, there is nothing else in this directory, just the WAR file. And when we are going to run this WAR file, then it will create the Jenkins home directory over here, which will have all those Jenkins related stuff. So the only prerequisite is that you should have Java installed. So this tutorial can pretty much run on any other platform like Mac or Windows. So all you need to have is a Java installed. I'll do a ls to see this is the jenkins.war, and then I'm gonna say java -jar jenkins.war. So by default, when you do it, you can specify the port, which port you wanna run, but by default it runs on port 8080. So I'm gonna hit enter, and after that I'm waiting for a password, which is initial admin password it creates. Here you go. So you're gonna copy this password, and since it is running by default on port 8080, I'm gonna say like localhost colon 8080, hit enter. It's getting ready, just wait for some time. So it's fully up and running. So it's gonna redirect to put the admin password. Just in case if you forget your password, you can find it here. In Windows, it's gonna be a different directory. So I'm gonna hit continue. It's gonna show up into a page where I have to select the plugins. So based upon your need, you can do the cherry picking over here on the selected plugin. But since it's a basic installation, I need everything, and I will install my Bitbucket plugin as per my need. So I'm gonna say install suggested plugin, and it's gonna install a tons of stuff. So it's gonna install the credential builder. Gradle is also included as part of plugin install, GitHub, SVN support. If you are in a big organization like enterprise, you don't want to create new users for each and every user again, so you can integrate with LDAP. It by default comes with the Git pipeline, and if Git support. And then after that, if you want to use the pipeline for the CD job or stage view, so this it will automatically install that thing as well. and then after that it's gonna have email extension and SSH slaves, the email for the notifications, and SSH slaves for having more Jenkins slaves to scale out your Jenkins. And the interesting part is it doesn't Slack is being very popular and it doesn't install the Slack a lot extension with that. So but if you need the Slack, then you can of course go ahead and install a Slack plugin and do a simple Google, and you can install it and you can get multiple kind of notifications over Slack, like build is ready, build is bad, or like builds completed, or build was bad and it recovered. So those kind of interesting stuff you can do that. So you can go to Slack and create a profile, create a webhook and secret, and add it here after installing the Slack plugin in Jenkins. So there are tons of stuff to do that, but this tutorial is limited to the basic installation. Thank you for being here with me. We are almost done. So meanwhile of time, I'm expecting that you can skip this installation part if you want. I have a Bitbucket server running, sorry, Bitbucket profile created, so I'm gonna go and create a repository, and I'm gonna say that Spring Boot demo. If you don't need a readme, you can skip this part. I'm using git create repository. So here you go, Spring Boot demo. Then after that I went to the Spring initializer, and since I'm using Gradle, I'll use the Gradle project. You can have your group ID. I just created Spring Boot demo, hit enter, it's gonna generate a project for you. So I already downloaded this project and I have imported into IntelliJ, so you can feel free to use anything you want, but I'm using a Spring Boot for this demo purpose. So I'm gonna go back again to the setup wizard. So basically I can say admin, 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 and admin at companyname.com. So basically here you can put whatever you want. I'm just using by default admin, admin, and everything as a admin. Here you can put your DNS name, and but after that you can, if you want to have plan to install SSH, the SSL certificates, you can do that, but it's a basic installation. I'm gonna say like, okay, save and finish. Here you go. So let's create a new job or a new item. I'm gonna say Spring Boot demo, and I'll choose the freestyle project. I'm gonna say okay. So our CI is basic template is created. Now you have to install the Bitbucket plugin to support it. So you're gonna go to the home screen, click on Manage Jenkins, go to the Manage Plugins, click on Available, and type Bitbucket. Sorry. You need integrate with Bitbucket plugin. So you can say install with restart, without restart, or you can say download now and install after restart. So I will click here install restart later or something, but in many of the scenario it works, but many of the scenario it doesn't work, it needs a restart. So if you're working in an enterprise or an organization, probably when you're restarting your application, it's hindering current CI or CD jobs or those kind of things, so you have to take care of those things. I'm gonna go ahead, since it's a basic installation, I'm running on my machine no one is using, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit restart. So it's gonna restart, it take a couple of time. So meanwhile of time, I will go to the Bitbucket and push some code over here. So it need not to be code, it could be a simple file or anything, but I'm just using the Spring Boot. So I'm gonna copy this stuff, and I have to configure this code to push on the repository. So I will go to the location where my project is, Spring Boot, and I'm gonna say git init. So one more thing guys, if you don't have a git installed, get it installed, whether it's Mac, Windows, or anything like Linux. run the git init, and then after that you have to say that git this code will point to this repository. Then after that you have to say git add all the files. Then you can say git commit minus m message, and I will say initial commit. Then you have to push the code, so git push origin master. If you are using any kind of tool, you can use it. I like command prompt better, so feel free to use IntelliJ or Eclipse or any SVN tortoise gate or something like that. So the code is pushed, and if I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this page, I can see the code popped up. So let's see the track. Let's track what we did so far. So we installed the basic installation, install the Bitbucket plugin, we create a sample CI job which we need to work on, and I think we missed the track and jumped here and created a code or a project into Bitbucket and pushed the code. So I think we are good here. So let's jump back to the CI job part. So if you remember, we installed the Bitbucket plugin here, and then after that we while installing we kept the password admin username and password. So we'll hit enter and go inside. Let's go to our project and let's configure, or you can start from scratch if you want. So I mean, let's do from scratch, let's not have any confusion. So let's click on create new jobs. I'm gonna say a Spring Boot demo project, freestyle, okay. Then I'm going to the source code management. I'm gonna say this is git project, and I'm gonna copy the URL and I'm gonna put it here, and I will remove the git clone part from this side, and I'm gonna remove my username. I will hit the credential part, the username of Bitbucket, and my credential, hit add. So into the build trigger part, I'm gonna say build when change is pushed to Bitbucket, and into the build part I'm gonna say, for example, I wanna run a shell script, and I'm gonna run gradle w clean build, apply, save. So we have configured this CI job, and we can click on build now and test that if it works. Awesome, so it worked. So let's go back to the project and see the track and see where we are. So now the next step is to integrate the Jenkins with webhook. So we have the Jenkins installed, we have a CI job, and we have code project committed and ready. Now we have to tell Jenkins that hey, invoke this webhook when anything is committed. So it needs an IP and port. So let's go back and see what is my IP. So my current IP is this. So I'll copy this guy. So just one clarification, guys. So since currently I'm on DHCP, it's not a static IP. It's being generated by DHCP server, which may change. So this is just a demonstration purpose only. If you don't want to have a static IP, or you don't want to pay the static IP cost and want to learn those stuff, so this is for this one only. So I'm gonna put the IP over here, and if you guys remember, the default port which is running is this. So I'm gonna copy this webhook URL, go back to the Bitbucket, go to the settings, and here you can find the webhook, and I'll say add webhook, and I'm gonna say Jenkins webhook. I will put this URL here and hit save. So now my Jenkins is configured to go and hit this URL if any change is made, and my CI job will get triggered based upon what we have configured. So what we have configured for each and every code push. But when Jenkins will try to hit this URL, it will basically come to modem, and we have to tell modem that if anything is coming to you, means this, with port 8080, then go to this machine where the Jenkins is running. So it's basically the local host, which is this machine, current machine which you are looking at. So I'm gonna say that if it is coming to you with port 8080, hey modem, if anything is coming to port 8080, forward to this machine. So I'm gonna see what is the IP of this machine. So I'm using a Wi-Fi. So this is the IP, and then after that I'll just paste it here. You have to go to your modem. So pretty much every modem is login is 192.168.0.1. So I'll hit enter, and I'm using a CenturyLink internet connection. So this CenturyLink modem, for you it could be different. And to locate the admin username and password, you can see on your modem. It's usually there, and if not, then you would be having some documentation of the username and password of the modem. So all you need to do is to do a port forwarding. So whenever a request is coming with port 8080 over here, like we discussed, you need a port forwarding. So what I'm gonna do here is gonna say, I can remove it and show it back again. So I'm gonna say here that if anything is coming to you modem, which is this with port 8080, then transfer it to this IP. So I'm gonna copy this IP, paste it here, and I will say starting port is 8080, and then after that I'm gonna say protocol TCP IP, all IP addresses, and then I'm gonna say apply. So once the modem have configured that whatever any of the requests coming with 8080 will be forwarded to this IP, then you are good. So let's go and make some changes and see if our webhook works. So currently we have only one build. So what I'm gonna do here is I will add just a line to make change, and onto the command prompt, let's go back here again. I'm gonna say git add -a, then I'm gonna say git commit build trigger test, and then I'm gonna say git push origin master. I'll put the password over here. So now the Bitbucket received a change. It invoked the webhook, and now you can see the CI job is running. And just FYI guys, let's see the result first. Awesome, we did it. So just FYI guys, so your Jenkins, which is running here on localhost, is now exposed to the internet over this IP. So currently I'm running the Jenkins and the port forwarding on the same machine. So if you are in the same environment of the broadband, probably you will be not able to access it. But if you'll go to some different network, for example, if you will just open your mobile and then after that hit this guy. So pretty much cool. You can do it from any other network from your mobile, and you can show your friends the cool stuff you did. So using this URL you can see the same Jenkins here. Thank you guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully it will be helpful, and I'm gonna change this IP and remove the port forwarding. So just FYI, if you wanna just try, it's not gonna work. Have a good day.